America, and welcome to Invent America, because America invents.
This episode of Invent America is brought to you by America's Inventor Lady and Home Talk USA. Home Talk is a proud member of the King's Broadcasting Network and has been bringing to you the best of America's home-based product innovation since 1998. This segment of Invent America is brought to you by the law offices of R.P. Baraska. RPB law offices have been bringing corporate-level legal expertise to the independent inventor community for more than 20 years. For all your inventing legal needs, trust rpblawoffices.com.
And my guest right now is Rick Kellow. He is the inventor. Rick, you and your wife are in this together, right?
We are, yes.
All right. So tell our listeners, what is Great Plate?
We invented a plate about 9 years ago that held a drink, and you had your food all in one. We had messes downstairs, and it was pretty simple. Necessity is the mother of invention.
It is, and my daughter has some of those, for her two young guys, and I know that my other daughter had some too. So I've been seeing those around for a while because I have 4 grandsons. And
Nice.
Oh yeah, I have one in my cupboard too. Not for my husband. It's for my grandchildren. They come to visit. And so you've been doing this for a while now. How did you, 9 years, you've learned some lessons in 9 years, but right now you just got done doing an order for what, 1 million units to Walmart?
We did. We just finished a large order with Walmart. We went to the Walmart Summit, the U.S. Manufacturing Summit in Bentonville. We've attended that for 6 years in a row. They've given us some excellent feedback on our product. In this last year, we were fortunate to get 2 meetings. The first meeting was with the reusable plastic, the injected molded piece that we've had. They gave us some more insight as to where we need to go. The second buyer was actually an accident, I think, where it was a disposable product that they were looking for. And we met with Jeffrey Wagner. He was very supportive of the product. He said, "This is one of the best products I've seen all week. Could we make it disposable?" Well, fast forward, May we hit the shelves. Yesterday, the total order was 1 million pieces. We're rolling that out right now. As of Labor Day weekend, we will be in 500 end caps for the store.
Wow.
And, we're across the country. We're in just over 700 Walmart stores. We're available at walmart.com, greatplate.com, and you'll find them all right there. 10 plates for $4.96.
Wow. And so you've got the disposable and then the non-disposable, correct?
Correct. The disposable is new for us. One of the things that they wanted to do, they were big into sustainability. A lot of the plastic products that you see out there are called a polystyrene, which means it's not recyclable in most municipalities. Since it's a number 6 or higher, we needed to be a number 1 through 5. We are a number 1. It's a PET plastic, so we can reuse the plate. It does work on a regular basis. It does have a cup holder, as you can see. And what we do with it is we have 3 other compartments, a large and 2 small. But right now, that plate is a number 1 recycle. It'll go in any municipality that's out there. And it's the number 1 converted plastic that's out there.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, congratulations for going from, the plastic to the disposable and for getting into the big box stores. So when, where were you predominantly before you got this big order from Walmart?
We did a lot of work with online. We did a lot of work with QVC. We did a lot of work with some of the smaller retailers. We've been in and out of Walmart on a couple different test programs, but this is the one that actually caught fire for us. I heard you talking a little bit before about what it takes to get in. There's 2 parts to working with a large box store. One, getting it in, and then keeping it in on the shelves that are up there in the process.
Yeah.
Because obviously your product has to sell. We're continually visiting. Last week alone, I was visiting 5 to 7 Walmarts a day. So you're constantly on your horse, getting out there and meeting this. You meet the people in the stores that put the product out for you. Right now, we have a single facing of our product. It's on the shelf. It's the 10-pack. But when you go to the stores and you talk to the people about what you're doing, a lot of times they'll give you a feature. They'll move you to a sidekick. They'll give you more shelf space. They will try to help you, especially if you tell them their story about made in the USA. Walmart is a big cheerleader. I'm telling you right now, put all the myths aside, they are 100% behind a US manufactured product.
Well, and that has changed a lot in the last few years, even in the last few months. Tell us, how as you've gone through this process, because they never used to be that way. They were one of the big culprits on moving everything to China to get better pricing. So how have you seen that pendulum shift?
Yeah, a lot of things have changed overall. Basically, I think the intention is to get the best price for the consumer. And obviously, China had a leg up on us as far as the labor and some of the products that are out there. But when COVID hit, we had to automate a lot of our processes. So we were able to bring our labor into line with a lot of the processes that are out there. And it depends upon the material that you're going to be using. In this case, PET is predominantly a water bottle material. So there's a lot of recycled water bottles that are out there in this process. So we either went with a black material or we went with a clear material. In this case, we went with a black one just for aesthetics. We will be doing a clear one shortly, but right now, the playing field is leveled a lot. And if that's the case, then they are going to move towards the American made product, in all fairness.
Well, I think that's wonderful, because we've looked so much at, bringing manufacturing back to America. You always manufactured in America, right?
We have. We've always manufactured in America. We've thought it was important to do that. And we've taken our lumps for it. But the thing is that if you stay through it long enough and you're persistent, things work out for you the way they're supposed to. And in this case, you know, I think God had a huge moment in this for us by looking at it and saying, well, you guys, can you make it out of plastic? Can you do this for us in the process? So we've been fortunate. A lot of the things that have happened, Rita, quite honestly, that would have been negative in the past are all things that get put into your playbook at some point, and you look at it and you say, well, but wait a minute, there's that company that did this, and there's that company that did that. Now the dots are being connected in a huge way. I will tip you off a little bit right now. Walmart is actually putting us in a Super Bowl promotion. It's not officially it's a football promotion to be accurate with college football and the Super Bowl. And you can see that coming out in December. It's an enormous program. It's seven figures in units again.
Wow, congratulations. And you know what? We're going to have you on again to talk more about some of those. So you save your storylines and your bullet points for us. We're going to take a break right now, everyone, and go and pay some bills because, that's why we get to stay on the air. And then we'll be right back with an inventor with another new product. So you know what? If you know an inventor out there who's got a product, have them get in touch. We can answer the questions. We can help them understand what the playing field or the football field looks like, just in case you're wondering about that Super Bowl field. And you know what? We've got another great product to talk about. So stick with us, everybody. We will be right back.
This segment of Invent America is brought to you by SearchQuest Patent Search. SearchQuest provides for a comprehensive patent search that searches the entire world and not just the U.S. Patent Office. Make sure that before you spend those big bucks having a patent written, you've done your due diligence by getting a comprehensive patent search. Use SearchQuestPatents.com for all your patent search needs. They scour the world for you.
And thank you for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents, and oh my goodness, we invent some amazing products. So this segment is brought to you by the Lion Energy, all right? Because you know what? We travel, we go out to the hills, we go camping. I live in the mountains, and we need energy wherever we go. So Lion Energy, you can go anywhere with a portable power solar generator. LionEnergy.com. And my guest right now is Ben. Ben, tell me what your last name is. Weinreich.
Weinreich, yes.
Weinreich. I knew I was going to get those vowels mixed up. Okay, Ben, thank you so much for being with us. You've got some different products on your website, but the Green Tech Tools is what you are famous for, your website, greentech-tools.com. Tell us about Green Tech Tools.
So started about 12 years ago. I was a licensed contractor. I still am. And I had a project where I had to pull the deck boards off and put on new ones, and it was a miserable job. I thought it would take 2 or 3 hours, it ended up taking 10, and that was with a huge buddy of mine. So the experience made it very clear that we needed a better mousetrap, and I got another job a couple months later, and I was able to figure out I was able to start from scratch and say, okay, how do I want to do this? I want to be able to put all my body weight into it, and I want to leverage the maximum amount of leverage, and I want it to be safe as well. So we ended up coming up with one, and here we are 12 years later.
You've got demo deck.
Yes,
and I am
yeah. So
assuming that demo is for demolition.
Yes, demolition of the deck. It's we were originally importing it, and then during COVID, I always felt ashamed when somebody said, "Where is it made?" And I always wanted to be able to say "Made in USA." And now we have that. During COVID, things got kind of difficult, and also just the interfacing with China was so difficult, and it was something I knew that we could make. So we were able to make the jump at that point, and everything, all of it's made in USA. The boxes, all the cards are printed in the USA. Everything's made in USA, which is awesome.
Well, congratulations. We are proud of you for making that jump back. So how, you said you sell in Menards, which is an upper, kind of northern tier chain of stores, kind of like a small version of Home Depot, correct?
Yes.
All right. How'd you get in there?
I walked into one of them one day some years ago, and the place was enormous. There's none of them in Maryland. And it just seemed like they had everything. I said, man, we got to figure out if we can get on the shelf, or what can we do here? The hardware manager is named John Jastro. So we looked him up, we sent him samples, and we had to keep on it for a while. We went up and met with him, and then we just had to keep on going on. And
keep on keeping on, right?
Yeah, just never give up. And eventually said, okay, yeah, sure, we'll put you online. So that's where we are now. We sold pretty good on Menards, and we're available on Walmart and Amazon as well.
So how do you get the word out? How do you do your marketing?
So we do pay for some Amazon marketing and through Walmart as well. We've got some different influencers from Instagram that we use and do some partnerships with. Next year, we're actually going to go to the not the Home Builder Show. We expect to pick up that's where we get a lot of accounts, where people are actually ready to buy on the spot, and we can send them a tool stand or whatever.
Well, we would like to invite you to go to ASD Market Week with us. It is a huge show. It is in March, and everyone that went with us last year who had inventory sold it all there.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
It was a great show for people wwho had inventory. For the ones who wanted to license it, they got people who were interested in their product. But for everybody who was selling, this group of folks are big on sell, sell, sell.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've got both of that. So, we have all the stuff we want to license, and that selling there sounds great as well.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I help inventors do is license. And Michael Miller, who's coming up as our industry expert, we had licensed product that got into the Home Depots and Lowe's in North America because of him. And so he is a great contact to have. But we've also got gentlemen, and I do think that I sent you a contact for a gentleman that does the e-commerce for Lowe's and Home Depot. So there's a lot of resources that we have that we've learned to share, because when we've got someone like you that's getting a product out there and you are made in America, we want to be able to say, oh, try this as an asset and help you out. So how does somebody find you? Is this a product that somebody can buy it and, oh yeah, I've got a wood deck up here that's going to need changing out. So when, can we buy the tool, and is it a DIY type of tool, or is it somewhere where if we buy it, we need to have now a contractor to come and do it? Or do you just travel all over the world doing this?
So is it DIY? Yes. The product is aimed mainly at a professional or more of like a heavy duty DIY market. Like if you're going to carry all the boards back to your deck and you're going to fasten them down yourself, you're probably also going to be perfectly capable of tearing them up. If you're not going to be doing the deck work yourself, then it's, it kind of depends on the fitness level of the person.
Well, I can tell you absolutely the gentleman who will come and do the work is named Bobby. And he is our go-to guy because, that's just, might as well hire, somebody who knows what they're doing, as opposed to, it's like, oh, didn't really see that happening. Been there, done that. It was a lot easier to get somebody out there who's like, oh yeah, I put in a deck before. And where'd you get this tool? So that'll be a lot, it's a lot more fun. And I know we've helped Bobby out before by showing him the new tools and the things that are available to say, here, it's easier to do it this way. So Ben, what are you looking for next? I mean, you've got a day job as a contractor, right?
I do some of that I'm still doing some of that. Mostly what I'm working on is we have new products that's taken up a lot of my time. So if I could take a second to tell you about that.
Absolutely.
All right, so we recently patented another tool, and that's for tearing up interior hardwood flooring. And there is nothing on the market that works as easy or as fast as this does. You take a dead blow hammer that we also sell that works great with it. You tap it underneath to separate the hardwood floor from the subfloor, and you pry back, and it pops the boards out incredibly fast. It pulls the nails out in the exact same direction that they were put in, so it's very, very efficient as far as your labor goes. And you don't have to spend any time on your knees, stabbing your knees with nails and sharp pieces of wood. Wood doesn't blow out and hit the walls or come out dangerously. It's a completely great way to do it. And it's not that expensive either, and everything on that's made in USA as well.
Wonderful. Well, we will, be helping you get the word out about that as well, because we want people to know we've got hardwood floors throughout the entire house. And yeah, I grew up with hardwood floors in my mother's house, and on the times where they had to get in there and do some work, it was a nightmare to change out a hardwood floor.
Yeah, you could even salvage the planks for the most part with the way that they'll be coming up now. So it's a really quick and easy way to do it.
So, and you did all of this because you were running into construction jobs, contractor jobs that were just a pain in the neck?
Well, I've always been kind of gifted with geometry and like frames and skeletal looking things. And I had a job that was so miserable that it was like, it didn't give me PTSD, but it was so difficult and so physically demanding that I knew there had to be a way where I could blast the deck board and have all the force go into it and do it in a safe way. And then when I got a second job, I was like, oh man, the point in time today, whether I go and invent a tool that works enough, or whether I go over and have another miserable day, the time that I'm going to be done today is the same. So let me take the time and make something that would be awesome, and then I'm going to go do the job really fast.
Well, congratulations, because, it makes a big difference. We always look at, the inventing is, a matter of necessity. And, when you're out there doing the job, the best inventions I have seen over the last 20 years were the ones where somebody was working the job and came up with a better tool. And, it's tools, my goodness, they're so much fun to work with. And somebody says, I've got this new software, and it's like, oh, let's try out for a new hammer or something, because, those are so much easier to sell and understand. So I want to thank you, Ben, for being on today. We will get you on again, and we want to be able to help you get the word out there. Everybody stick with us. We will be right back with our industry expert, Michael Miller, who has been helping inventors get their products onto those store shelves for, a couple of decades, about as long as I have been. So stick with us, everybody. We're going to go and pay some bills. And if you know an inventor out there, have them get in touch.
Hi, this is a training pull-up for little boys, and it's a great product to use. It makes it easy for the parent and the child when learning how to potty train. The coolest part about the product is that you don't have to take the child's pants all the way down every time that they need to use the restroom. You can just open this part here, and the child can tinkle through here, and it makes it easy for the parent and the child. It's a great product, and I cannot wait until it hits the market.
Thank you so much for being with us for this segment of Invent America, because America invents. We solve problems, we make a new product, we get them out there, and we make them available to all of you. This segment is brought to you by Bond Products. It is the DIY carpet binding. There is only one InstaBind, bondproducts.com. Michael Miller, our industry expert problem solver. You know what? Thanks for being with us. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, no, it's great to be back on.
So, you dealt with the Home Depot and Lowe's and a lot of other places. How would an inventor, an independent inventor, get into a big box store or a chain, a large chain like a Menards, Ace, True Value, whatever? And what are the ups and the downs? What do they have to be careful of?
Absolutely. I would say number one is that you need to make sure that you have your pitch ready. You don't want to blow it. You really only get maybe one, maybe two chances with any of the big box retailers. And so really be nice and have a really good pitch ready for them. And as far as that, the other thing that you can do is really work with your local store managers. Those guys, get their inputs, listen to what they're telling you about about the product and incorporate changes. If they're requesting changes, incorporate them. But really, really listen to those store managers. They have a lot of influence over what products go in the stores. And they can even, at their level, direct the buyers for those stores to put new items in. And so that can be really, really key for you.
I
Um,
know the that one year was right after we had, a year or so after we did Disposal Genie. And I went into the local Home Depot and I said, I'd really like to get your opinion on a few of these new products that we just took to the big trade show. And he just looked at me and he goes, "Do we have anything in this store that I would recognize as being one of yours?" And I go, "Disposal Genie." And he goes, "Oh, can you be here at 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning?" And so, we got to meet with all of the different, department managers, and they gave me the feedback on the different products. But it makes a difference when you are, when you've got something that gets their attention. And when, I always tell inventors, like, your first interview can be about 15 seconds. What problem did you solve? How did you solve it? Did you use a registered patent attorney? And can we make it at a price the consumer will pay?
Absolutely. You need to have those answers and have those answers absolutely ready for them. Those are the things that they want to know. They want to know that you can actually supply the product. And what are your plans for that? And what's going to be the cost? And please remember that you can always go down in price. You can never go back up again. And
Yeah,
and so you really need to really think about that and think about, to supply a big box store like that, what is it really going to take from a resources perspective? um,
right. I had a gentleman, and I said, do not give away your exact cost for manufacturing because you've got to have room to negotiate. And he had a Costco rep that said, well, we want 25,000 units. And he was so excited and he told him exactly what his cost was. And then they said, well, maybe we want 2,500. Well, there's a big difference there. And he was going to lose, any margin that he had. And I said, there are certain things that are proprietary information, and your cost is one of them. And so you've got to be really careful on how you negotiate.
and they will always ask.
Yes,
Always, always. They'll even ask you, I mean, gosh, I work for a company that had over, 25,000 products in Lowe's and Home Depot, and they would ask us every single time. It, but you just have to be prepared for that question and gently not tell them. Um, I mean, you can laugh about it with them, whatever. They know they're asking, you can't say, and just get a good laugh out of it, but they will always ask.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I would just say for the other thing, you can always help them by looking for slow moving products in the store. And you get that information from the associates that work in the store. Talk to them, be on a first name basis with them, the people that run that department, and they will tell you what's not selling. And that's a great thing to add in your pitch to let them know, hey, you know, this product of mine, it works so much better. It does such, good things. And there's these couple products here that I know are not working well for you, and they like knowing that you're getting intel, that you're really thinking this through for them, because quite honestly, it saves them a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because all they have to do is they can pull it right up on their computer right there, and they'll go, "Yeah, you're right. Maybe that
Well,
would
and
be a
like,
good fit."
yeah, and like Rick with Great Plates, he had done a lot of work. He had been selling for years, so he had the traction to go to. And that makes a difference as well when you've got the traction and you can go back and you can look at past sales and say, here's where we are with this. Like you said, the intel is really important because, they're not going to take a risk on get one product. And that was all Rick had when he ended up doing that, was one product line. And it's, they're not going to take a risk unless they've got some pretty good intel on their part too.
Yep, and I don't know if he remembers or not, but I met him at his very first trade show.
Oh, wow.
When they first came out with that product. I actually have one of the prototypes that he had there at the show that I still have. But yeah, just a really, really great product. But it also shows you sometimes you have to have some perseverance on these things, and just know that you have a solution that will work. And you can see, like with him, the different iterations that he had to go through on where he had it manufactured, how he had it designed, what materials he used. Those are all things you need to just keep in mind and keep on iterating over the years.
So, well, Michael, thank you so much for being with us today. We have to wrap it up, and we will be back, everyone. We will be back next week with more guests and another topic for Invent America. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We will be back next week with more stories on getting products from mind to market. We will have new inventors and industry experts. So join us and have a wonderful week.